Welcome back to the Monday Night Envy Spiral Snark Squad. Grab your drinks, get comfortable, and just prepare to question absolutely every life choice you have ever made, because I know I am.
Oh, I am deeply spiraling tonight. Like, truly.
Right. We are here to completely deconstruct the absolute psychological warfare of this week's mess on the water, specifically Season 4, Episode 12, perfectly titled, by the way, Heads Are Gonna Roll.
Such a good title. I mean, it delivered.
It really did. But babes, watching this display of wealth and dysfunction has officially, fundamentally made me hate being a working person even more. I am furious.
It is completely destabilizing. Like, cheers, my friend, because the Casamigos are pouring tonight. We need it.
The margaritas are hitting, and I just need to scream into the void for a second. How on earth, in the actual literal economic sense, are these people affording to charter super yachts?
I literally ask myself this every single week. It's a financial assault on the senses.
Make it make sense, bestie. Because we need to remind the Snark Squad, and frankly, remind ourselves of the reality here. Babes, we are dentists.
Right. Actual medical professionals.
Yes. Board certified. We went to school for what feels like 3 consecutive lifetimes. We fix people's faces, we deal with drill dust, and, the delusion of patients who think flossing is just a fun seasonal activity.
It is exhausting labor, truly.
And yet, moving from a 2-bedroom apartment into a standard, normal house requires, a 5-year strategic plan. We have budget spreadsheets. We pray to the Zillow gods daily.
The spreadsheets are what really hurt. I was just updating mine today.
Same. And meanwhile, these people are casually dropping a literal house down payment for a 3-day-long weekend just to drink espresso martinis and demand theme parties.
It's absurd. You sit down after a 10-hour day to watch some light escapism, and instead you just get this masterclass in the socioeconomic divide.
It is the ultimate reality TV paradox. I watch it to escape, but it just traps me in my own financial inadequacy.
Well, I mean, if we want to logic our way out of the spiral, and, I have to break down the math to keep myself from crying into my drink, we have to look at the wealth tiers.
Oh, here we go with the wealth tiers.
No, but seriously, there is rich, and then there is yacht charter rich. It is a completely different ecosystem. You are looking at, deep generational money.
Right, like their great-grandfather invented the zipper or something.
Exactly. Or you're looking at business owners who operate in these completely unregulated, shady gray areas, like crypto guys.
Or those guys who own a chain of mattress stores that never have any customers but stay open for 30 years. It's giving front business energy.
100%. Nobody is chartering a super yacht by just being a really good, hardworking mid-level manager.
Oh.
Or a dentist.
That is such a bitter pill to swallow. You can be at the absolute top of a respectable profession, and you'll never have dance for my amusement money.
Never. The economic mechanism just isn't there. But even knowing the logic, even knowing these people probably have terrible karma.
Oh, they definitely have terrible karma.
Right. I still fully agree with you. It is fundamentally unfair. It is deeply absurd to watch this while sipping budget margaritas in sweatpants on a Monday night.
It really is. But okay, fine. If the yacht life isn't happening for us yet, I need to pivot. I need to self-soothe right now.
Let's pivot. What is the dream retirement? Because we have to have a plan.
Exactly. Because, bestie, if I have to keep drilling teeth for the next 30 years, I need a vision board. And obviously, we are embodying our retirement home queens, Joan and Felicia, the original snarkers.
Oh, absolutely. That is non-negotiable. We are doing oversized caftans, statement jewelry that literally clanks when we walk, and just demanding to speak to the manager's energy.
But what does the actual setting look like? I lean towards a chaotic, shared Florida vacation home, like a compound.
Okay, a compound.
Yeah, I want a lanai, I want a golf cart painted neon pink, and weekly wine nights that start polite but inevitably turn into full gossip exposés about the neighbors. Vibes and community, babe.
See, I hear Florida compound, and my brain immediately goes to the logistics. Who is maintaining the pool?
You would ask that.
Well, someone has to skim it. And what are the property taxes doing? Do you know what the HOA fees are in those communities? They will bleed you dry. The HOA is a shadow government.
Stop ruining my caftan fantasy with your actuarial tables.
I'm just being real.
Yeah.
And the insurance premiums. You're basically taking on a second mortgage just for the privilege of evacuating every August.
Okay, fine. So what is your grand plan then?
Well, what about a barn-dominium in the middle of nowhere? Low overhead, massive square footage. We could have a whole wing just for watching Bravo on a projector.
A barn do? No, that is too isolated. I need people to judge.
Okay, hear me out then. A luxury high-rise condo, specifically chosen for the balcony view, so we could sit up there like gargoyles and judge the pedestrians walking by.
Oh my God.
0 yard work, maximum surveillance.
Okay, the high-rise gargoyle fantasy is actually incredibly tempting. Just sitting up there with binoculars and critiquing people's parallel parking. I am sold.
It's the most practical option for our lifestyle.
It really is. But babe, this retirement plan requires serious funding. Which brings me to our manifestation moment.
Yes. Put it out into the universe.
Gas amigos, if your marketing team is lurking, and I know you are, you need to sponsor us. Because the margaritas are on deck, we have been putting in the work promoting you, and we are completely open to your money.
We are basically brand ambassadors. Just wire the money directly to our escrow account, honestly.
Seriously. Fund our delusion. But speaking of just like massive unexpected cash, you had a story about this, right?
Yes. Oh my God, I was thinking about this today when I was analyzing all this suffocating wealth on the show.
Tell the Snark Squad, because this blew my mind.
So, I grew up in a pretty normal, very middle-class neighborhood. Nobody had yacht money. But when I was a kid, a friend's dad actually won the lottery.
Shut up. Like a real person, not an urban legend.
A living, breathing person in our zip code. And it wasn't like $1 billion. It was $200,000.
Which is still a huge amount of money.
Right, but you have to understand the context. To a bunch of kids back then, $200,000 might as well have been $1 trillion. The shock in the neighborhood was palpable.
I literally thought the lottery was a myth when I was a kid, like Santa Claus.
Exactly. We thought it was just this thing adults talked about. A tax for people bad at math. We never thought it happened to real people.
I am spiraling just thinking about this. How did it change things? Because if you handed me $200,000 right now, my brain goes to such a boring place.
That's the fascinating psychology of it. Because younger us, we were plotting how to spend it. We were like, okay, we're buying a private skate park, infinite gushers, a motorized scooter, maybe a pet monkey.
Pure chaos and nonsense. If I got that money as a kid, I would have bought every American Girl doll and built them a functioning mansion with real plumbing.
Yes, we thought it was infinite generational wealth. We had no concept of inflation or capital gains tax.
Oh my God, the contrast is so depressing.
Yeah.
Because current me, if I got a check for $200,000 tomorrow, it goes straight to the student loan servicer.
Straight into the void of educational debt.
It wouldn't even touch the sides. I'd pay off the debt, do sensible investments, and maybe make one slightly irresponsible purchase.
Right, like an espresso machine that hooks up directly to the water line. Or one single designer bag.
Literally one bag. Financial asphyxiation by responsibility. The magic of money just disappears when you understand amortization.
It is the tragedy of adulthood.
Well, we are ending this banter in a very dreamy, slightly bitter, but honestly hilarious place. We may not have yachts, and we may not have lottery winnings, but we have these margs and a mountain of opinions.
So many opinions. We need to get into the meat of this recap.
Yes, let's jump right into this recap segment. Because Snark Squad, we are dying to tell you what happened. This episode was a masterclass in terrible human behavior.
Unhinged behavior from start to finish. Let's start with the departure of the charter guests, Tyler and Nick.
Oh, Tyler and Nick, I have never wanted people off my screen faster.
Their energy wasn't just exhausting, it was actively degrading to watch.
It really was. So the charter is ending, right? They are finally leaving. And Tyler decides to leave the crew with one last humiliating competition.
Because of course he does.
He pulls out a literal stack of cash, $1,000. And he says he will give it to the first crew member to strip butt naked and jump off the marina dock.
The power dynamic here is so gross.
It made me physically ill. But here's the thing, bestie. Mike, our resident chaos agent on the deck team, he wins the dare.
He didn't even hesitate.
No hesitation. The clothes are off, the cheeks are out, and he is in the water. So my question is, can we really blame the guests if the crew is that willing to throw away their dignity for $1,000?
I absolutely blame the guests. This is economic coercion. When you have a service worker relying on tips, dangling cash like that is just a frat boy prank masking a huge power imbalance.
Would you do it for $1,000?
After taxes? Absolutely not. My dignity is worth at least $5,000. And think about the marina water.
Ugh, the water.
Do you know what kind of fuel runoff and toxic algae is in a commercial slip? You'd need broad-spectrum antibiotics. $1,000 doesn't cover the medical bills.
You are so practical. I was just focused on Alicia's face during the whole thing. She was standing there, fully buttoned up in her uniform, looking so disgusted.
She was muttering, he doesn't deserve it.
Right, but part of me wonders, was she just mad she didn't jump first? Like, she wanted that money, but didn't want to be the crazy one.
Oh, she definitely wanted the capital. But the degradation just kept going. Let's talk about the parting gift from Nick.
Oh my God, I must block this out.
Nick refuses to give up his novelty conch ring, which, why is that even on the boat?
Right, why are we discussing this on a luxury vessel?
Exactly. So because he won't give that up, Tyler gifts Captain Jason a silicone breastplate from Drag Night.
Who leaves a sweaty silicone breastplate as a tip. You are paying tens of thousands of dollars, and you hand the captain a prop.
And Captain Jason actually puts it on and takes a selfie. The man knows how to play the game to secure the bag, I guess.
But did he even secure the bag? Because that leads us right into the most depressing tip meeting in the history of this franchise.
It was incredibly bleak.
The crew gathers around, totally expecting a huge payout for dealing with these lunatics. And Captain Jason reveals the total tip is $22,000.
Which sounds like a lot to a normal person.
Hand me 22 grand right now and I will weep. But when you break it down, it was a measly $1,600 each.
The lowest payout of the season.
By far. And the feedback from the guests was brutal. They specifically called out the ruined surprises and, of course, Ellie's soapy eggs.
The soapy eggs. It is the ultimate culinary and chemical sin.
Snark Squad, my heart actually hurt for Ellie in that moment. Imagine the visceral embarrassment of standing in front of your crew, the cameras, your captain, and being handed a literal disco ball helmet of shame.
Because you fed rich people Dawn dish soap?
I would have self-immolated. I would have jumped off the bow.
She did wear the helmet, with a sort of tragic grace, I'll give her that. But this awful tip was the catalyst for Chief Stew Daisy finally reaching her breaking point.
Daisy was going through it. She gives this intense warning to the crew. She calls out the relentless bickering, the selfishness, and begs them to just be professionals.
And literally seconds later, maybe 4 seconds, Mike opens his mouth.
Because Mike cannot handle peace.
He is an organizational saboteur. He sarcastically tells Alesia that she has really stepped up.
And bestie, I am going to defend Alesia here. She is trapped in a pressure cooker. She's exhausted. She just got a terrible tip, and this man is poking her with a hot stick.
I get it, but she has zero emotional regulation. Instead of ignoring him, she takes the bait instantly.
She cannot let a comment slide. So Daisy steps in, right? She tells Mike he's being mean. And what does Alesia do? She turns her anger on Daisy.
Pure insubordination.
She starts yelling, demanding Daisy handle it as the fucking head of the department. Fades, I gasped. But honestly, I kind of agreed with Alesia. Daisy's the manager. Handle him.
I completely disagree. I am unequivocally Team Daisy on this.
Yeah.
You do not publicly castigate your direct supervisor in front of the entire team. Daisy is suffering from middle management burnout.
But Daisy's reaction, she stands up, totally unhinged, yells, I'm done with this. And she walks away muttering that heads are going to roll. That is abdication of leadership.
It is a natural human breaking point. She is managing emotional toddlers. Mike is manipulating everyone, and Alesia is a volatile weapon.
It is workplace emotional terrorism. And meanwhile, right in the background of this death match, we have Betul.
Sweet, silent Betul.
The only normal person on this boat. She is literally just quietly cleaning the bar. She's completely ignoring the drama while Captain Jason and Daisy complain about the squabbling children.
Betul is operating on a higher frequency. She's protecting her peace. Put your head down, clean the glasses, collect the check.
She is the blueprint. But unfortunately, she's trapped on a floating asylum. Which brings us to the day off.
Oh, the villa vibes, the catamaran chaos.
Captain Jason thought a luxury villa and a catamaran trip would help them bond. Spoiler alert, it was a disaster. The João, Ellie, and Mike triangle of doom really kicked off here.
Let's talk about the sheer cowardice we witnessed.
Yeah.
Because Mike, who wants Ellie, finds out that João actually wants Daisy.
And does Mike keep this to himself like a normal person? No. He runs straight to Ellie to tell her.
Under the guise of just being honest, of course.
He was stirring the pot so hard the spoon broke. So Ellie confronts João, and João, coward.
He completely deflected. He blamed Mike for stirring the pot.
And then we get to the beach scene. This was the most egregious gaslighting. João literally says he just wants to tell her what she wants to hear for the time being.
He tells her on the beach, let's just have fun.
Is he the biggest coward in Bravo history? He knows she has real feelings. He knows he isn't interested. And instead of having a 2-minute uncomfortable conversation, he strings her along.
It's what I call emotional arbitrage. He's buying her affection at a low cost, knowing he's going to dump the stock tomorrow. Classic avoidant attachment.
It is despicable. And it leads to the most tragic moment of the season, the breakup cake.
The psychology of this baked good is staggering.
Snark Squad, Ellie spends 3 days making João a lemon meringue cheesecake for his birthday, from scratch.
3 days of zesting and baking in a tiny yacht galley while working 18-hour shifts. Baking is an act of service. It is a physical manifestation of care.
And João knows he's going to end things. But he sits there, he lets her present the cake, he eats the cake, he enjoys the meringue.
The sociopathy of citrus desserts, honestly.
And then only after he eats the cake, he pulls her aside and tells her he just wants to be friends.
To ingest the symbol of her affection while actively planning to reject her, it's chilling.
Immediate jail time. You do not dump a woman after she bakes you a 3-day masterpiece. You dump her before the crust forms, or you stay with her for a month out of respect.
But Ellie gathered her dignity so well, she told him, "We're coworkers. That's it. No friendship, no chit-chats, no hugs."
I was cheering for her. She laid down that boundary. But then João actually cries.
Oh my God, the tears.
He starts weeping. He has the audacity to leak fluid from his eyes after manipulating her for days.
Let's be clear. He is crying because he is uncomfortable with his own guilt, not because he mourns the relationship.
Yeah.
He got exactly what he wanted, plus a free cheesecake.
It was pathetic, but the romantic disasters just kept coming. We have to talk about backpacks versus clutches.
The Eddy, Jenna, and Ben saga. Pure, unadulterated cringe.
Eddy takes Jenna on a date by the marina, and within 5 minutes, he completely ruins it.
He came on way too strong.
He starts talking about marriage on the first date and packing across the globe. And then he tells her he will change her so she won't wear dressed-up matching sets anymore.
He threatened her wardrobe. You do not threaten a woman's wardrobe.
He literally said he's going to put her in trackies and hoodies.
He thought he was projecting this rugged lifestyle, but it was just incredibly controlling. He was oblivious to who Jenna actually is.
And Jenna has this iconic realization. She realizes Eddy is the safe option, but she drops the line of the season. I don't even own a backpack. I own clutches.
That is a socioeconomic manifesto. A backpack implies carrying your own weight, labor, ruggedness. A clutch holds a lipstick and a credit card. It implies someone else is carrying the heavy things for you.
It belongs in a museum, so she immediately pivots to Chef Ben. She decides Ben is more refined because of his accent and the food he plates.
Which is hilarious because Ben literally sleeps in his bed with his shoes on.
He is a human disaster zone. His cabin is a hazmat situation.
But Jenna is blinded by the title. So Ben, who just finished helping Ellie eat the breakup cake, slides right in.
He tells Jenna she can visit his master cabin anytime. And at 5 a.m., Jenna sneaks in. The episode ends on kissing noises while Eddy is sound asleep down the hall.
The audacity to swap the clingy deckhand for the messy chef in 12 hours.
Huh?
She works fast.
She is optimizing her screen time. It's going to destroy Eddy's heart next week, but for us, premium entertainment.
Pure gold.
All right, bestie, we have deconstructed the madness, and now it is time for our 4 messy segments. Let's get right into segment 1, rich people behavior.
I am ready.
Break down the guests from this charter. Tyler and Nick. Are they classy rich, chaotic rich, or trying too hard rich?
Unequivocally, embarrassingly, trying too hard rich.
1,000%. I was so emotionally triggered by them, making the crew dance for cash, peak trying too hard energy.
Classy rich people don't require an audience for their spending. Tyler and Nick are insecure in their wealth, so they weaponize it against the working class.
And the breastplate tip. They want the aesthetic of being wild, but it just comes off as desperate for screen time. Gross.
Truly gross.
Segment 2, crew crush versus crew chaos. Who is doing their job and who is one shift away from losing it? Who is your crew crush?
I have to give my flowers to Batul. She practices emotional distancing, cleans the bar, and stays out of the line of fire. MVP behavior.
Batul is an angel, but for crew chaos, it's a tight race between Mike and Alesia.
I am standing my ground. Mike is the king of crew chaos.
You really think he's worse than Alesia screaming at her boss?
Yes, because his chaos is premeditated. He actively stirs the pot just for sport. He maliciously pokes Alesia, knowing how she'll react.
Fine, his premeditation is evil. But Alesia needs an emotional intelligence workbook immediately.
Agreed.
Segment 3. If we were on charter, Dusty, be honest, what kind of guests would we be? Low-maintenance angels or absolute nightmares?
Look, I'd love to say we'd just read books and ask for sparkling water. But if we are dropping Casamigo sponsor money, I am going to be a highly specific, logistically demanding nightmare.
I knew it. I admit it. I would be a menace. I want daily themed parties. A 1920s murder mystery, a Studio 54 disco night.
And the crew must be in historically accurate costumes.
Yes. And I would demand scheduled gossip sessions with the Stews. Bring me a margarita and tell me who's kissing who in the laundry room.
We wouldn't even need the production cameras. We'd be running our own surveillance with binoculars from the upper deck.
Exactly. Look at Eddy talking about backpacks again, and absolutely no soapy eggs. If Dawn dish soap is near my breakfast, someone is getting fired.
Strict zero-tolerance policy on detergent-flavored proteins.
Okay, final segment. Segment 4. Tip-worthy or jail time. Let's judge these moments. First up, Ellie's soapy eggs.
Jail time. Straight to the brig. You cannot serve bubbles on a plate.
I agree with jail, but I'll grant a suspended sentence and a tiny tip just because she wore the disco helmet of shame with grace.
Fair. Case 2. João's cake strategy. Waiting for a 3-day masterpiece before dumping her.
Life without parole. Bury him under the prison. It is emotional terrorism to eat a lemon meringue cheesecake knowing you're about to crush the baker's heart.
The fake tears add 10 years to his sentence.
Absolutely. Final case. Jenna's 5 a.m. cabin sneak to kiss Ben while Eddy sleeps.
Morally questionable, but reality TV-wise, tip-worthy.
Fully tip-worthy, she provided top-tier mess for our viewing pleasure. She chose chaos, and we thank her for her service.
You delivered the plot twist we needed. She gets the full tip.
Babes, this episode gave us everything. Power dynamics, terrible communications, socioeconomic clashes over luggage, the holy trinity of Bravo.
It really takes the sting out of the student loans to know that even with yacht money, these people are a profound mess.
It truly does. Well, Snark Squad, that wraps up our breakdown for this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and surviving another Monday night envy spiral.
We literally could not do this without you guys.
And remember, if you loved the mess, please share the show with a friend who needs a laugh and drop us a rating and review.
It feeds the algorithm and keeps our delusion alive.
It really does. I'll leave you with this final thought, besties. We stress so much about our real-world jobs and mortgages, and to relax, we watch working-class people serve the ultra-rich. We've turned class warfare into our Monday night sedative.
The irony is thicker than Ellie's lemon meringue.
But hey, give us a few margaritas, a fully delusional mindset, and a good gossip session, and babes, we are mentally already there on the upper deck.
We are high-rise gargoyles in training.
Stay dreamy, stay rich, and we'll see you on the Snark side.